It's another episode of The Extra Point on the 21st night of September, which starts right now. To another episode of The Extra Point. I'm your host, Kate Woynerowski, and with me tonight, we have RJ Pillay, Griffin Barfield, Patrick Driscoll, and Leah Hart. All right, everyone, let's kick it off with some college football pick'ems. You know what to do. Let's start off with a pivotal matchup this weekend. We've got number 5 Clemson and number 21 Wake Forest. Guys, it's a new matchup, but this is really big. Who do you have for this one? All right, we got all Clemson, RJ.
I mean, I got on the shirt. I know we gonna win. That's how I feel. Wake Forest, they ain't never beat us, I don't think. So, I mean, we gonna start off slow, but we gonna go score big. That's how I feel.
I agree with RJ. I'm, of course, repping Clemson as well. The Wake defense last week was a little bit iffy at Liberty, and Clemson have beat them their last 12 times. It will be 13. Will Shipley has a game.
Yeah, great points by both of them. You know, Clemson, not the strongest starters, but at the same time, Wake Forest did allow 36 points to a Liberty team that doesn't even have Malik Willis anymore. The Tigers, they're going to start off a little slow, but once they take control, it should be a pretty comfortable win.
Yeah, I got Clemson as well. I think DJ had a few games to really figure out the offense, and I think if we've got it going and he feels confident in his throws, then I think we got the win.
All right. Well, it looks like it's a sweep for Clemson. We'll see how they do on Saturday. Now, looking forward to our next matchup, we've got number 17 Baylor at Iowa State. Guys, Iowa State's not ranked, but they're 3-0, so I think this is a pretty interesting matchup. Who do you have? Okay, RJ, you want to start with the Baylor pick?
Something just telling me that Baylor, they gonna just come in and they ain't gonna give them boys their first L. So I just got that feeling. Well, I hope they beat them.
I picked Iowa State because college football is pretty much a game of momentum. I didn't really do a lot of research going in this game, but I knew that Iowa State was home. They have the momentum. They're undefeated. I think they pull out the win.
So, speaking about research in this matchup, I was just looking at a lot of stats, and everything is very even in this in terms of all-time wins and records at home and whatnot. Last year was a thriller in Waco, but I'm really high on the Cyclones team. And did a great job of replacing key guys like Breece Hall. They're a great squad. This time they are in Iowa. I got Cyclones winning this one in the close game.
Yeah, I got Iowa State as well. Big home game for them. Baylor didn't look too good last week against BYU, so that was a tough game for them. I don't think they can just come into Iowa State and win again, so I got Iowa.
All right. Well, that will definitely be a really good matchup in Ames, in my honest opinion. I think Iowa State, they didn't score much last weekend, but they have an opportunity to against Baylor this weekend, so we'll see how they do. All right, moving on to a really crucial SEC matchup. We've got number 20 Florida going to Knoxville, Tennessee to visit the number 11 Tennessee Volunteers. Guys, who do you have for this one? And do we think Tennessee is going to live up to the hype this weekend?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, game day.
Yes.
On game day, too. That's absolutely right. All right, who wants to go first with their pick?
Well, I'll go. I just feel like Tennessee, if you pay attention, each week they've been getting better and better. And, I just feel like eventually they're going to be, they're going to drop down to rank 5 for some reason. They're going to drop down, and I just feel like they're going to win.
Agree with RJ. It's college game day. These fans in Tennessee have been waiting for a team like this. Anthony Richardson has been looking iffy. That offense looks iffy, but I really like Hendon Hooker in this game, and I think he proves the world a statement that Tennessee will win this Saturday.
Yeah, so college game day back in Knoxville for the first time since 2016, and one was the first time Tennessee was in that top. Last time Tennessee was in that top 10 was 2016. Florida looks very iffy. Griffin had a good point. What was the quarterback's name? Hendon Hooker. He is a 6-year also, which I didn't even know that. So he has a lot of experience. I really like Tennessee in this one. I think they're going to get it done, and they will be in the top 10 after this matchup.
Yeah, I got Tennessee to win this game. Big home game. I mean, they had a huge game last week against Pitt. That was a really crucial win in overtime. So I think they're just going to use the momentum. College game day, obviously being there. They got to perform in front of their home fans. So I got them this week.
All right. Well, it looks like everyone is hyping up Tennessee here. So we'll see how that plays out on Saturday as well. All right, let's move on now to an in-state matchup. We've got number 22 Texas going to Texas Tech. Guys, this is kind of interesting. We've got Texas coming to Texas Tech after losing to Alabama. How does that momentum carry on after? All right, we're all favoring Texas here. All right. Who wants to get started with their pick?
I'll start. So, no Quinn Ewers, but no problem for Texas. They do have Bijan Robinson, who is an absolute animal. I think he will perform very well in this upcoming game. And Hudson Card, he wasn't too spectacular against UTSA, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. And for the Red Raiders, I was really high on Donovan Smith last week. He just didn't perform well though, and I just think Texas, he won't perform well again. He's kind of cold, and Texas will just get it done.
Yeah, I got Texas in this one. I mean, we found out that they could actually compete last week against Alabama. So, I mean, even though they lost, kind of shocked the world on that one because everybody thought it was just going to be a blowout. But I think it's an easy road win for them.
I agree with that. Texas Tech didn't look good against NC State. Texas, like Patrick said, Quinn Ewers is iffy. He probably won't be back this week. That doesn't matter. This team took Alabama to the brink. Very questionable calls, but I like Texas in this game and getting back on track.
I agree with both of them. They did take Alabama. They gave Alabama a run for their money. And I feel like they should have beat them. So they're going to come in with that mindset, wanting to win. It might be a bad loss for Texas Tech.
You know, it'll definitely be interesting, especially because they'll be in an away environment, right? So they're not going to have to rely on their home fans, right? So it definitely will be interesting to see how they do against Texas Tech. All right, moving on to our last matchup. Once again, we'll be featuring Texas A&M at home. And instead of the Miami Hurricanes coming, we've got the number 10 Arkansas Razorbacks coming this time. So, guys, in this matchup, Arkansas at Texas A&M. Who do you guys have for this? All right, RJ, Texas A&M.
I just feel like something telling me Texas A&M, they some sleepers. They like App State. They some sleepers. I just feel like they're going to come in as the underdogs and win.
All right.
I picked Arkansas. Just that game against Miami was a little iffy for both offenses. I just really think this Arkansas offense is huge. PJ Jefferson, I believe, is the quarterback's name. Electric. I just think Texas A&M need to have their offense going. I don't think they will, and I think Arkansas pulls out a win.
Yeah, so Texas A&M, they did bounce back last week. Big win against Miami. But the reason I'm going with Arkansas on this one is because they have a great defense. Not as good as Texas A&M's, but they have that great defense that leads the nation in sacks. And they also have the dynamic duo of KJ Jefferson and their running back Raheem Sanders. Those two together are electric. They're just more balanced, and yeah, Arkansas is going to take this one.
Yeah, I got Arkansas too. I mean, I think they're just going to go in and get a tough road win. I mean, it might be close, but Texas A&M is it's kind of looking inconsistent. They're kind of looking uneasy at home. They already lost once at home to App State, so I just am taking Arkansas with this one.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be interesting to see how much Texas A&M steps up with their offense as well. You can definitely tell that there's definitely some inconsistency there with that offense, so we'll see how they do on Saturday night. All right, moving on now, we've got the word game. So, guys, let's pick a word. We're going to start off with Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees hit his 60th home run of the season yesterday. Guys, Aaron Judge hitting his 60th home run of the season is the GOAT.
Yeah, I say that because many people really, well, I don't watch baseball, so I need to, but I feel like many people don't get that opportunity to like hit their 60th home run and stuff like that. So I feel like he's a GOAT and he should celebrate that. And yeah.
This is generational. Aaron Judge has hit his 60th home run. Only 5 people have done it. 2 were on drugs, but besides that, there have been 3 people, and he's being put in the conversation with Babe Ruth. That's crazy to me. Coming from a Mets fan, this dude is the MVP. This dude is the best player in baseball this season. Generational.
Insanity. Griffin had many great points, and that 60th home run actually sparked a 5-run rally last night for the Yanks, which was absolutely electric. Aaron Judge, he's just a freak of nature. He's a generational athlete. 60 home runs in one season, and we still have a lot of games to go. The other 2 clean players who did surpass that mark were Babe Ruth and Roger Maris. You talk about doing this in an era with no steroids, being more shut down. You see Tatis got suspended. Brian Cashman, general manager of the Yanks, you got to pay this man now. He is the MVP.
Yeah, I picked legendary. I mean, I don't watch a ton of baseball, but it's super impressive to see Aaron Judge do this. I mean, as Griffin said, he's generational, so I think he's going to be one of the best baseball players that we've seen in a long time, and there's so much more this season to go, so I don't know what number he's going to hit next, but
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He's definitely a generational talent, and I think we all had a feeling that it might end up this type of way when he first came up, so really exciting stuff to see. All right, moving on now to the NFL. We had Trey Lance actually go down on Sunday. He fractured his ankle playing on Sunday, and Jimmy Garoppolo came to replace him, and he won the game for the 49ers. Guys, Jimmy Garoppolo stepping up for Trey Lance after him fracturing his ankle is blank.
How should I say this?
Griffin?
I said bittersweet. It's kind of funny how, what was it, the first or second week we were talking about
Yes,
Garoppolo
yeah.
I
getting...
was going to bounce back on that. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's bittersweet. It was a very smart move at the beginning of the year. It was really tough seeing Trey Lance go down just because we knew that he had really a promising season ahead of him. But I'm glad Jimmy G's there. I'm glad that he's getting playing time, and we'll see what he does with this 49ers team.
All right. I'll go.
Go ahead.
I feel like with Jimmy doing that, he is like, I mean, like the other week, I just was against him. Now this week I'm with him, cause like he came in and helped Trey Lance, and I feel like if like 49ers would have got rid of Jimmy G, he probably wouldn't have won that game.
You're absolutely right on that.
So I guess you could go 2 words on this, but it's like a insurance refund. Been a long day. So yeah, we were just talking about this on the extra point, which is crazy. And the fact that the Niners were able to retain Jimmy G after all of the drama in the offseason, all of him, skipping, just like staying on the sidelines during camp, missing meetings, talks of him going to different team. They ended up keeping him, and you got to feel for Trey Lance right here, one of the more exciting prospects in the NFL. But they did indeed have a backup plan with Jimmy G. While it's not in the way, like they want him to come out with Lance being injured instead of maybe performing poorly, they do have Jimmy G. He's familiar with this whole offense, and this could be a season-saving move for the Niners.
Yeah, no, it's definitely reassuring, to say the least, for the 49ers that they have a backup like Jimmy G. All right, go ahead, Leah.
I said exciting, kind of a boring word, but I think it's exciting for Jimmy G. I mean, he was about to be released, and they kept him around, and I think when the time came, he did his job. So I think they got the win last week. I mean, there's more to come about his future with the team, but it just sucks to see Trey Lance go down, but it's also exciting for Jimmy G to get a starting job back.
If you're a 49ers fan right now, I don't know how I would feel, honestly. Like, you just had your future quarterback go down for the player that played for your team last year that you were so on. I mean, but I will tell you, that is definitely a situation of destiny right there. Very, very cool overall. So, pretty cool we bounced back on that. All right, now moving on. Guys, who is the best team in the NFL? I think we all have the same answer, but the worst team? Maybe you might have an argument about that. Guys, the best team in the NFL right now is blank, and the worst team in NFL is blank. Okay. I think we've all got the same best team, but what about the worst team? Leah, go first.
So I picked the Bills because they're looking dangerous this year. Josh Allen for MVP, and Stephon Diggs is just tearing up the safeties and the cornerbacks. But I picked the Falcons. I mean, they're just not doing it for me. Like, Kyle Pitts isn't being utilized, so I think maybe if they get him going, that'll make my answer different. But just for these past 2 weeks, Marcus Mariota isn't showing us anything special. So
Gonna keep this simple. The Bills, just hands down the best team. You saw what they did against the Titans last week and whatnot, but they came in week 1 on primetime against the reigning Super Bowl champs and absolutely manhandled them. We can talk about their offense with Diggs and Josh Allen, but their defense is so scary, and they were banged up last week against Titans, and they still just like absolutely dominated them. They can get that running game figured out with Singletary. I can see 15, 16 wins at least for them. And for the worst, gotta go with the Texans. You know, I saw a stat, they were 8 or 9 points away from being 2-0 this year. But when you think about that tie against the Colts, I mean, Jacksonville absolutely handled the Colts. You know, Denver is a little shaken up. And Davis Mills, I don't know. You know, the Texans are just looking very shaky this year, and I can't see them getting any better.
I agree with Patrick on both parts. The Bills, defense looks great, offense looks even better. I think if you sprinkle a little bit more of that run game, throw Singletary, James Cook, Zach Moss, one of them in there, I feel like that is fairly an unstoppable offense that we will talk about for a long amount of time. And I said the Texans is the worst because I was thinking Falcons or Texans, but I just thought the Falcons had a lot more star power with guys like Drake London and Kyle Pitts in there. Even Cordell Patterson can have his moments. The Texans don't really have anybody. Don't get me wrong, Davis Mills is met, but he doesn't really have great options besides Brandon Cooks. The running back situation's weird, and their defense is pretty much abysmal. So, I mean, those were pretty 2 up and down teams for me.
I got the best team, the Bills. They just look unstoppable watching them. Putting up 40 on the Titans. Yeah. The worst team, don't get me wrong, this is my favorite team now, but I got the Raiders. Simply because you got Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. They're not really even using Josh Jacobs like that. Derek Carr, we was up 20-0, and this man, I feel like he should have stepped up. You up 20-0, going against Kyler Murray. You let them boys come all the way back and win the game. And now we 0-2. Now everybody laughing at us. So hopefully we'll bounce back. Hopefully.
No, that's definitely interesting. And honestly, to add your point, Griffin, actually, do we think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the AFC South?
You're asking me or Patrick?
Any of you.
Wait, it's on.
They got a shot.
Yeah, they got a chance.
The Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
Jags.
Sorry.
Titans.
The Texans.
Oh my gosh.
I
I
got
think the
Jaguars.
Titans will. I think the Titans will figure it out.
It's
Put
funny.
in Malik Willis.
True. Yeah, no, you got a point there. I think it's interesting because I saw the other day that they're the only team right now, the Jaguars, with the win in that conference so far.
I feel like
Yeah.
they can pull it
Let's
off.
see.
And that was against the Colts, their division rival. So, well, that will be interesting to watch. I am very, very much looking forward to seeing how that goes. All right, let's move on to some picks. We're going to start with RJ's team, the Raiders, 0-2. At the Titans, 0-2. So, guys, this is our only 0-2 matchup this weekend, and I felt that it should be highlighted. So, who do we have for this?
Going with my team.
All right, RJ.
I feel like since we lost that game in overtime, I feel like we're going to come in with that mindset. I feel like our game plan need to be better. Move the ball around, spread the ball. Don't try to focus on Devontae Adams. Like, Derek Carr, just step up. You the face of the franchise. Step up. You got to prove these people wrong because I'm tired of defending you.
I think this game's fight between two teams that need that it's just like a moment away from getting their offense going. I think this could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Raiders just because I like their offense a little bit more. The run game is good. Their passing game's even better. I feel like they just need to incorporate everybody. And I think their defense will do the job to stop guys like Derrick Henry. I don't think whether it's Malik Willis or Ryan Tannehill under center will be able to throw the ball a lot to quality receivers. So I like the Raiders in a close one.
Okay, I'm going with the underdog right here. I believe they're the underdog, but I believe the Titans are going to win this game. King Henry is going to be mad as long as his line can block for him. They will run it down the Raiders' throat. I can't think of the wide receiver. Treylon Burks, I think that's his name. He showed a lot of flashes against the Bills. I think if they can give him the ball a little more, let him work with something, he'll have a big game. Titans will surprise everyone right here and win.
Yeah, I got the Raiders, like Griffin and RJ. I think they got that mindset to come back. It was a really tough game last week. They did a bunch of things wrong in the second half, but I think they just need to get Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs going, get that run game going, and sprinkle a little bit of passing in there. But I think they could get the road win here.
All right. I think after last weekend's heartbreak, they definitely will come in motivated. So it'll definitely be interesting to see who actually gets the first W of the season. All right, moving on now to our only 2-0 matchup this weekend. We've got the best team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, at the Miami Dolphins. Guys, do we still have the Bills going undefeated after this weekend?
They will.
No, RJ.
I mean, Tyreek Hill got me 42 points last week, but I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, Dolphins got Raheem Mostert, the fastest in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua. I just feel like, and they got like one of like the best defense, so I feel like it's gonna come down to the last minute, like how the Ravens versus Dolphins was last week. It's gonna come down just like that, and Dolphins gonna come out on top.
The Dolphins showed fight, but you can't give up 35 points a game and expect to win every game, especially with arguably one of the best offenses in the NFL with the Bills. I think the Bills win this. I think they score over 30, maybe even over 40. And I think it's one of these games where like, oh, the Dolphins are back, and they'll get blown out. That's what I think.
Yeah, I have the Bills Mafia on this one. Like I said earlier, they're just too good of a team. The Dolphins, yes, their offense is absolutely electric, but you cannot be giving up that many points. Even if it's against Lamar, you can't be doing that. The Bills defense is going to show the NFL that they are the best defensive unit in the NFL right here by making a statement. I think they're going to shut down Tua a little bit and kind of put that hype down. So I think Bills Mafia are going to win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I got the Bills too. I mean, Dolphins showed fight last week coming back. I mean, also, like Patrick and Griffin said, their defense was kind of looking inconsistent, giving up 35 points. I think Josh Allen will take advantage of that. I think they'll run it down the Dolphins' throat. They'll pass it. I just think that Stephon Diggs will rip up the safeties and the secondary. So I got the Bills with this one.
All right. Well, I do have a really odd stat to come up with this matchup. Since the start of the 2021 season, the Miami Dolphins are 11-0 whenever they play a quarterback that has the letter O in it. And then they're 0-9 when they play a quarterback that doesn't have the letter O in it. So you do the math. Apparently they're not going to win if that's the way that things go this weekend. But who knows? Let the matchup commence, I guess. All right, then, moving on. We've got the Falcons at the Seahawks. Guys, who do you have for this matchup? I mean, this is one of Leah's worst teams, so... Are you picking the Seahawks? You are picking the Seahawks. Okay, Leah.
Yeah, like you said, I also said that the Falcons are the worst. At least I think they're the worst team in the NFL right now. They're just not using their offense properly. Obviously, I said that Kyle Pitts wasn't being used in the right position, but I don't know. I think the Seahawks are looking pretty good. The first win in Week 1 against the Broncos was super good for them, kind of just to get back at Russell Wilson, and that was a huge win for them and kind of motivated them. I mean, last week against the 49ers wasn't as good of a game for them, but I think they bounced back.
I have the Falcons, actually. The Seahawks, yes, they did win Week 1 against the Broncos, but the Broncos have been one of the teams in the NFL that have surprised me how bad they've been playing. The way they managed that game was absolutely horrific. They should have came out with a win against Seattle. You talk about Seattle, Geno Smith, I love the guy, but last week he did not look good at all. Their run game, nothing's going on with that. They can't even get their star receiver DK Metcalf the ball that much. I like how Drake London looked. I like Kyle Pitts. I like Cordero Patterson. I even like Mariota a little bit. I think the Falcons are going to come into Seattle and take the win right here.
So I changed my answer. I had Seattle written down, and I turned it to Atlanta. I just think Atlanta has more star power that they can use. Like Patrick said, DK Metcalf has barely been in the lineup, and it hurts to watch. I think the Falcons, once again, utilize Drake London. They will get Kyle Pitts in this game. They have to because, I mean, even fantasy owners are getting pretty pissed off about it. But I think the Falcons are pissed off. They blew a lead. They're losing close games. I think they finally get a win this week.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. It's a must win for the Falcons because they 0-2, and Mariota, he don't like that. I feel like he don't like that coming from a Raiders fan because he used to be on the Raiders. So I just got them.
I love it. All right, well, moving on now. We've got a pivotal quarterback matchup. We've got the Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rodgers, Brady. Who do we have taking this one? Oh, are we split? Oh, okay.
Wow. I'm surprised. Okay.
Patrick?
You got the GOAT. You have Tom Brady. You have their stud defense. You have Leonard Fournette. No Mike Evans. The receiving core is a little banged up. They even signed Cole Beasley. But still, I'm not worried. The Packers, I mean, they beat the Bears. And I'm coming from a Chicago fan. We're just not that good. So Aaron Rodgers has yet to have a monster game. I believe it will happen eventually this season, but we're still early into the year. The Bucs are just a more proven team. They have a lot more star power, and they do have the GOAT in Tom Brady. The Bucs will win this game.
This happened last year. Packers went 0-1. Everyone was like, yeah, they're not back. Aaron Rodgers should retire. This is his revenge game, I think. I think that he gets Allen Lazard in the game a lot more than we think. That Bucs offense is a little iffy. They've been looking a little iffy. Haven't really scored a lot of points. We saw that against Dallas. I just think the Packers will find a way to win this, use their run game, use their great defense, and I think they shut the GOAT out. Not shut the GOAT out, but I mean, I think they win.
I agree.
Shot.
I agree, though. I feel like, can't forget about Jair Alexander, like one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I just feel like Packers going to come out on top. They got Aaron Jones, their receiving core. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's still trying to find, like, his number one guy, but I feel like they'll pull it out. Revenge games.
I got the Packers in this one too. I think the Bucks looked a little iffy last week, only scoring 3 points throughout like the entire game, and then their defense coming up clutch. But I think the Packers get it done. I think just the Bucks are just too banged up for this game. Just Julio Jones and Chris Godwin still questionable to go in, and Mike Evans obviously out, which he was utilized a few weeks back versus Dallas. He got a huge touchdown, but for him to miss this week, I think that's huge for the Packers.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there as well. It'll definitely be interesting to see how that matchup plays out. I think it will be a really good one. So, all right, let's move on. We've got the San Francisco 49ers with Jimmy G now at the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson. Guys, who do we have here for this one? Oh, okay. Oh, Griffin. Plain spoiler here. What happened with your pick there?
These games are so 50-50. I love it, but I picked the Broncos. I like their team better on paper. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be under center for the 49ers, but I think Russell Wilson finally gets into his own. I think that, he distributes the ball well. Jerry Jeudy's questionable, but I think Sutton has a big game. Home field plays a huge advantage, and when you're playing at Mile High Stadium, the odds are in the Broncos' favor. I like Denver in a close game.
Well, I like the 49ers simply because the Broncos, I heard they had a lot of injuries going on, and I feel like they're going to play a huge role during that game. So, 49ers in for this one.
I'm going to go with the 49ers right here. I mentioned this earlier. The way the Broncos have played these first 2 weeks has been very underwhelming. I think he'll figure out eventually. Not yet. Jimmy G, he knows his guys. I know his offense is confident in him. I like Debo. Debo is a big playmaker. Cortland Sutton has looked great for Denver as well. But Jerry Jeudy, questionable play. Broncos are a little banged up. I got 49ers taking this one.
Yeah, I got the 49ers too. Jimmy G, he can come out and prove to people that he should have stayed on this team the entire time, not even been questioned to be released. I think he shows out this game. 49ers get the win. I think, the Broncos, I think they're still trying to figure things out. I mean, I got Deebo Samuel having a huge game, so I just think that Jimmy G has a lot of confidence in that. I think their offense knows Jimmy really well, so I got the 49ers.
Really great point about the offense knowing Jimmy G as well, especially with the Broncos. I mean, they didn't look great last year either with Drew Lock, and those problems are still there. So the 49ers, I could definitely see taking this one, but don't count the Broncos out either at home. All right, moving on now to our final matchup. We've got Monday Night Football, NFC East matchup between the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. Guys, the New York Giants are actually undefeated. Do we have them taking this one Monday night? Oh, okay. So most of you do. Leah?
I got the Cowboys. They looked really good last week. I mean, it was kind of surprising that Cooper Rush kind of showed out like he did. I mean, they used Noah Brown, which was awesome. Just like another wide receiver 2 in there. I mean, they used CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. I think just the offense was kind of feeling good with Cooper Rush in there. I mean, their defense was pretty good too. It was a close game at the end, but they beat the reigning Super Bowl finalists. So I think it was a good win for them. I think it's a division rival this week, so I think they go into New York and win.
I gotta go with the Giants on this one. Wow, they are not like the other juggernauts in Tampa Bay and Buffalo, who are also 2-0. The Giants, I love the way Brian Daboll has been using this offense. The Cowboys are 9-1 against the Giants in the past 10 matchups, which is actually pretty absurd. But Cooper Rush, he looks solid, but he's just a game manager, I believe. And if they want to win against the Giants and just in the NFL with with their roster, a game manager like Cooper Rush isn't going to take them to the promised land. Giants and Saquon are going to take this one.
I can't believe we are going to live in a world where the New York Giants are 3-0 because I certainly would have not thought that. I certainly wouldn't. I thought we'd be 0-2 by now.
Yeah.
But I like the Giants in this one. I just think, like Patrick said, Cooper Rush is just a game manager. He doesn't do much. He'll give you maybe 150, 200 yards and a touchdown. That's about it. Dak got CeeDee Lamb going. Dak got all those receivers going. Elliott's iffy. That defenses look good though, but I think the Giants somehow they found their way out of games, and I think that Saquon has a good day. I think they need to get that receiving core, guys like Wan'Dale Robertson, Kadarius Toney in the game more, and I think they pull out a win, a very close but great win.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. I just feel like the Giants, I don't know, this is my first time ever seeing the Giants might go 3-0, so, I mean, they can do it. I believe in them. They can be the underdogs, because who expect Giants to be 2-0 right now?
Not me.
Not me.
I
either. I think it's interesting because we all picked the Eagles probably to be 2-0 possibly, but the Giants also. Ooh, it'll be really fun to watch this division. Except me, I'm a Commanders fan, so that kind of stinks. But that's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
All
always
right.
interesting with that division.
Yep. Definitely. When it's really good or really bad. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week on another episode of The Extra Point.